Nathan, you must have had contrasting emotions after the last two games, two defeats in those two games, mainly because of the difference in performances. The one vastly different between the league game against Leicester and the cup defeat at Cambridge.
Yeah, look, they're two different games. Obviously, last Saturday we were bitterly disappointed not to have won the game, but definitely not to get something from the game. It took a wonder goal to breach us, which is the first time we've been breached in the Championship, and then we created significant chances and enough to have won the game, and that's the disappointing. But the level of performance was outstanding. How we went about our work was wonderful, and I was proud of that. I'm just disappointed that we didn't get something from the game. Tuesday was totally different, but bear in mind, it's very disjointed. You know, we have to make sure we are really competitive at Championship level, and we have to make sure that everyone is up to speed. So we had to make the changes we felt to give us the best possibility of being the best version of ourselves for the weekend. Now, what comes with that is when you put a team that's not used to playing together, a lot of young lads bringing, you know, some making debuts, some playing in early on in their fledgling careers, you sometimes have that sort of sporadic performance, or the performance that's not quite what you're used to week in, week out, and we accept that. And as I said, we tried to win the game. We felt we had a good enough team to have acquitted ourselves far better, but we didn't do the basics well, and that's the thing, and that's what people have to learn, because the goals are goals that we don't score at first team level. The goals are goals that we don't concede at first team level.
In that respect, and it's probably going to sound strange to say, can you use that as a positive going forward, then the learning curve that players would have got from that?
Well, you have to learn. We have to learn and improve. That's what you have to do, because if that keeps happening, if those certain things keep happening, then look, that's when you're not moving forward. So what we do, we've made mistakes at this football club. We know that. We've had tough days, but we've learned from them, and we've not repeated them. And that's the thing. I mean, that's the first time I've lost to Cambridge in my 9-year managerial career. So that hurt me on a personal level, because I have pride in my records and in what I do. And it was a gamble, because they're a good side, well coached, and it's a tough place to go. But I felt we had enough. But we got exposed the other night in certain things that we have to get better at, and I'm quite comfortable with that.
One of the good things about you is not seeing Will Mannion back on the bench. You also mentioned about Rhys Burke back in full training. Is he, though, some distance away because he's got to get up to fitness?
No, we just didn't want to. We are light defensively, so with numbers, so we had to put out a team that was competitive. But what we didn't want to do was going into this weekend leave ourselves exposed in those defensive areas. We know we need to strengthen in that area, and that's what we're trying to do. But Rhys wasn't risked. Macca's very durable. Macca can play, so we give Macca an hour. Felt he needed that, and we go from there. But that's a position really that we're a bit light in.
And you mentioned that, of course, after Tuesday night as well. Are you confident that you're going to be able to rectify that in the few days left of the transfer window?
Yeah, we will. We will strengthen the squad in this next 3 or 4 days. The actual, thing, we have a list. We're working through certain things, so a lot will determine who we bring in. But yeah, there is scope and there is a desire to at least improve on one level.
Moving on to Saturday, we face a QPR side at Loftus Road that have had a tough start to the season, and Julian Stephan said after the recent one where they got battered against Coventry that there'll be a different side when they face us. Does that change your thinking in how you prepare for that, having seen them get battered 7-1, or does it make any difference at all?
Well, we can't affect what QPR do, but if they're looking for a reaction, so we've lost a game as well. So we both lost last weekend in the league, and we're looking for a reaction. So QPR's reaction, I don't feel will be any greater than our reaction, because we don't like losing football games and we want to react. So whatever QPR do, we can't affect. All we want to do is make sure that we rectify what's happened to us this week.
And it'll be our first London derby of the season. Quite tight ground at Loftus Road. Should be packed. The atmosphere will be quite intense. Players looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Watford probably think they're London as well, a little bit. I know they're Hertfordshire, but but yeah, look, the championship's wonderful. This, the games become thick and fast. I mean, it shows where we've come from, that we are absolutely devastated that we didn't beat Leicester City last week, and we should have, because it's a hell of a long way to come in a year. Our third game was Bolton, who were a fine team last year, but when you think of the calibre teams we're now playing and expecting to win, or expecting to beat, then it shows we've come a long way. And of course we're going to be looking for it. It's a great place to go. It's a wonderful football club, QPR. I really like it. I always enjoy playing there. I've managed there, I've coached there, like as an assistant. I've managed there, and it's it's a wonderful football club, and we're looking forward to it.